Hi everybody, my name is Ferenc Bodon and I'm responsible for documentation and benchmarking for KDB-X. And today I'm gonna show whether KDB-X is still the world's fastest query engine. Let's jump in. At KX, we took benchmarking seriously. These are the benchmarks that we implemented over the last few years. And I would like to highlight StackM3 benchmark, which was put together by a representative of the financial industry. They delegated engineers to contribute to the specification, and it was in line with their expectation and their query set and their data. KX dominated that benchmark since the beginning. Nowadays, we just introduced the new benchmark, the KX NYSE Tech benchmark, which focuses on capital market and what can be more representative to capital market than the New York Stock Exchange data, which offers freely available, downloadable query set, the tech data set. The data set size is impressive. The quote table contains 2 billion rows. Besides the data, we also need to have representative queries. So not just the simple select, filter, group by, and calculate the average or the sum type of queries, but also we need pivots, as of join, and we implemented 52 queries in total that those queries came from our clients. These are representative queries, and each query can have tags so that people can slice and dice the results as they wish. Other requirement is that we need open source and reproducible benchmark. And this is not just about query times or memory need of a query, but it's also for expressiveness. How one query looks for certain query engines, how simple it is, and how maintainable certain solutions. The benchmark, so today we're just releasing the in-memory query engine comparison, so the data lives in memory. Around November, we're releasing the on-disk query engine comparison. The data can be in KDB or in PyKX format. So we will provide some answer to those clients who ask, how does KDB format compares to PyKX data format if they are queried by KDB-X, and also how KDB-X compares to other query engine that can also read data in PyKX format like DuckDB and Pandas. Then likely next year, we will add the database functionality. So when multiple users can connect to the database server and they can send queries concurrent in parallel. Also, the data serialization and the query load balancing will come into play. And the last phase will be extending the benchmark with ingestion. How ingestion impacts query speed, and the opposite direction, how query impacts ingestion speed, if there's any impact at all. There's no single KDB version. So in this test, all users can select from 7 implementation. But for this particular benchmark, we will just pick the most typical, the standard RDB layout. So the data is sorted by time, and there's a grouped attribute. So there's an index on the instrument identifier. And also we would like to see how the KDB-X SQL interface compares to the traditional QSQL interface. The Python contestant will be Pandas, Polars, DuckDB. There's no single DuckDB version again, because although we sort the data in memory by time, if we can add an index on it, or we can sort by cement time. This is similar to KDB parted attribute when the data is sorted by cement time. And for this DuckDB implementation, the min-max indexes are more efficient. So we would like to know and understand the performance implication of that. Column types impact query speed. The sim column is a symbol, has a symbol type in KDB, and to provide a fair comparison, it is categorical or enum in DuckDB, categorical for pandas and polars, and enum for DuckDB. Enum, the distinct values needs to be collected when during the enum creation, so it's a little bit more laborious to use it. The time, by the specification, the time column is the duration since midnight. So time span, duration, time or time delta in pandas makes complete sense. For DuckDB, the interval type would be good solution, but it does not support nanoseconds precision, only microseconds. This leaves us with time and timestamp. In the queries, there are a few queries when we do time bucketing, so provide some aggregated statistics by certain, like 5 minutes bucket interval. And time bucket is not supported for time types in DuckDB, so that left us with the timestamp nanosecond type for time column. Also, character types are interesting because KDB supports character. This is not the case for other engines. For DuckDB, we could choose. Also, there's a character of length 1, but this is just the alias to varchar, and we tested both varchar and enum and didn't see and observed performance differences for certain queries. It was sometimes faster, sometimes slower. A few examples. This is something that represents what clients are doing. For 500 infrequent instruments, calculate the liquidity-weighted mean quote by instrument, and then instead of providing a very long table, make a pivot and provide a wider table. And since there will be many new columns for certain time period, there's no quote for that particular instrument, feed forward with the previous non-null values. So these are the QSQL. This is the QSQL query on the left, and on the right, the polars queries. I just let some time to digest the difference and observe how the QSQL solution, how simple it is. There's no how many quotation marks you can see, how many parentheses you can see. It's really the lack of noise that is most remarkable for the QSQL query. Also, the DuckDB for calculating, so feed forwarding the value in ANSI SQL, you need to use window function, which requires more typing than other solutions like Pandas. Another interesting query is select all those indices in the quote table where the sequence number is not increasing for an instrument despite time column is increasing. This is a typical kind of reverse engineering and understanding the data type of query. For SQL dialect, we need to use again window functions. The test setup that we use for the results was provided by AMD. It was a 2-socket CPU, but we restricted only to a single socket. And I would like to highlight that for the libraries, we picked the latest available version at the time of the testing. Now the first set of results, KDB X SQL interface versus QSQL. KDB X SQL interface is also known as S.K. The good result is that for majority of the queries, 74% of the queries, the performance penalty is marginal. There's no meaningful performance difference in the query execution times. So translating the ANSI SQL or the PostgreSQL queries to QSQL takes around 1 to 3 milliseconds. It's marginal. The fun fact is that KDB X SQL can be faster than QSQL. This is a deliberately malicious query that I put together. It is query 9. I call it fetch all then discard, throw away the internal results. Probably you don't see this in production, but it shows that there's a naive projection pruning already implemented in the S.K approach. What needs to be improved is the expressiveness. Currently, out of the 52 queries, 40 can be expressed by KDB SQL interface. What is coming soon is we are extending the window function supports, and our target is really to reach 100% expressiveness. Next set of results, KDB X Python, also known as PyKX, versus QSQL. Here we can only pronounce good results. The Pythonic interface, the expressiveness of the Pythonic interface is 100%. That means if you are coming from a Python world, and you have Python background, and Python interface is familiar to use, then you can use KDB X Python, and you can express all the 52 queries by KDB X Python. And the performance overhead will be like marginal. It is within margin of an error. So you won't suffer any performance impact if you are using KDB X Python as opposed to the classical KDB and QSQL approach. An announcement, the KDB X Python 4.0 was released nowadays, and currently it supports modules. You can see that in this example, I was loading the Parquet module. kx.module.use is a new keyword. Similarly, the type of the results is a virtual table, which was introduced in KDB-X. Okay, and here comes the main attraction, KDB-X versus Polars, DuckDB, and Pandas. In the next table, you will see ratios. Ratios, execution time ratios compared to KDB execution time. So if the value is 2, that means KDB is 2 times faster than the other query engine. I will apply some coloring. If the background color is black, that means there's a bug in the query engine. If it's white, that means the performance is on par, so the ratio is around 1. If the color is red, that means the other product is faster. And if the color is yellow, that means that KDB-X was faster. So let's see the results. So these are the queries for 4 threads, and instead of displaying 52 queries, I'm selecting a subset. This is for single instrument filter. So when we are restricting to a single instrument, and the indices for DuckDB or for KDB has an important role. We can see that yellow is dominating the table. The darker the yellow is, the higher the number is. So for example, for 17, for this particular query, KDB is 17 times faster than DuckDB. I also calculated the geometric mean to kind of get an average ratio, which is 65 for Polars and almost 200 for DuckDB. And for Pandas, the speed up is like 3 orders of magnitude. So KDB is 3 orders of magnitude faster than Pandas. I'm also calculating the maximum and the minimum ratios on the top. Let's see the next set of queries, which is if we restrict to a certain instruments, like in the query that I demonstrated, we were restricting to 500 instruments. Here, sometimes we restrict to 500 instruments, sometimes to 100 instruments, but always we restrict to a set of queries. Here again, yellow is dominating the table. But we see at least one cell when KDB is not the fastest. Next set of queries when there's no filter on the instrument. so the indices do not play any role. Here we see that still majority of the cells are yellow, but there are some red background cells. So when the other query engine was the fastest. To get some summary, out of the 52, 45 KDB was the fastest, and the Polar was the fastest in 5. DuckDB was in 4, in 2, and the Pandas was never the fastest solution. Now let's see how the performance change if we allocate more threads and you make use of more cores. Here, since the Turing box that we were using has 64 cores per socket, I was allocating 64 threads to each query engine. And instead of showing now 3 tables, I'm just showing the last one when there's no filter on the instruments. We can see that still KDB is dominating. KDB is the fastest for most queries. The ratio decreased a little bit. In KDB, the multi-threaded primitives employ some heuristics. If the query vector, if the input vector, there's a minimal size for the input vector a thread can work on. So you will never see as you increase the thread numbers to very high number, you will not see the same linear improvement in the speed because there's always a overhead of using secondary threads. We would like to thanks for DuckDB for being so reactive to our plans. They reviewed the queries and gave us a lot of feedback. Also, we would like to thank AMD for providing the hardware and Data Intellect for contributing to the query sets. Finally, run the benchmark on your own hardware. It's now publicly available on GitHub. You can easily extend it with your own query sets. You can also add your own query engine if you wish, and run it with different parameters like thread number, or decrease the size of your database if you wish. Thank you very much for your attention.